Welcome back. It's Kyle with All In Survival, and this is part 3 of our preparedness food little lesson. All right, we're going to talk about long-term food preparations. All right, long-term food preparations. Now, what's in your pantry is immediate, right? We talked about that. That's step 1 of preparedness. You go into your kitchen, you look in your pantry, you decide what you and your family eats on an everyday meal plan, and then you triple up on it. You quadruple up on it. You want to be able to live out of your pantry without being able to go to the store for a minimum of 1 to 2 months. I would say 3. Now, in most circumstances, this would include what's in your fridge and freezer. And in America, a lot of people have a second fridge or freezer in the garage. But I want you to think what would happen if you lost your power, all right? If you're well prepared, you could keep your fridge and freezer going for a long period of time. If you're okay prepared, you have some time. You would eat that stuff first. And if you're not as well prepared, you can write that off. Eat as much as you can out of your freezer as fast as you can. Have a barbecue because it's gone. 3 days later, you're going to need to start getting rid of it and get it well away from the house. All right. That being said, you have to be able to live out of your pantry for a minimum of a month. A well-stocked house, I would say, is 3 months. After that, your next step is what I call emergency preparedness food. And that's going to be the stuff that's easy to cook and eat right now. So the video that we just did was emergency food preparedness. That's got to do with a little bit more expensive meals that you just add water, hot water, you rehydrated it, and you're ready to eat. This is kind of the most expensive part of the plan. Once you're able to feed your family for 3 months with emergency food, now we're talking about long-term food survival. And if you go onto any prepping site, read any book when it comes to that, the standard for long-term food preparedness is rice and pinto beans. All right? That's step 1. And to be perfectly honest, I think it's a horrible step. However, in my house, we eat white rice at least 2 to 3 times a week. So having a bunch of white rice on hand is perfectly fine. You should have enough that you don't need to go to the store for a long time. All right, the next step is to imagine eating white rice and pinto beans for months. Okay? And if you can't do that, it's time to put a little bit of time, energy, and some brain power into expanding your horizons. Now, when I think of long-term food storage, I think of the old days where a lot of people are going to be eating a lot of soup, stews. Boil some water, toss a few ingredients in, try and get something that's going to taste so-so, and eat, right? Survival, not Wolfgang Puck's. It's just survival. But if you put some time and effort into it now, your family will be well ahead later. All right, I'm going to show you some examples of things that you can do that are going to make life much easier in the long run. Now, step 1, rice and beans, right? We've already talked about that. But if you want to take it a few steps farther, now we're going to talk about maybe taking, instead of just doing pinto beans, right? You just do pinto beans. You can do something that's a little more interesting. maybe 13 bean soup, right? You can see it in there, right? If you were making stew for your family, how long would this go? What if you had 3 or 4 of these in the garage, right? This is long-term food storage. Now, what if you want to spice it up? The next step is to think about how you would do that. And behind me, you can see that I've got my trusty Husky boxes, and these ones are filled with things that are gonna make life taste better, okay? Not just survive, but survive and enjoy a little bit of it. All right. First thing you're gonna need to think about is spices, right? Everything tastes better if you spice it up, right? So go to Costco, get some different types of spices, lots of ground pepper, extra salt. These are things that are gonna make your life so much better in the long run. When we think about long-term food survival, a lot of people will think about freeze-dried, right? Cans, big cans like this. And where I agree that these are something that you should have, this is freeze-dried broccoli. I'm not exactly sure how this would taste all by itself, but this is something that you can throw together and add to something else or add to a meal, right? It's a side dish, right? And what I want people to think about is the stew idea, right? If you start with, this happens to be ground beef, right? You add this to a little bit of the 13 bean soup. You got some extra protein. 13 bean soup got tons of protein. You could add, ground beef or beef chunks, chicken. All of those things will make a better stew, right? Things that you need to think about. One of the other things that I'm going to show you is a product that a company named Harmony Health came out with, was these little packs. And I'll show you a little closer. These are little packs, and inside each pack is just one ingredient. And this happens to be split pea. All right. By itself, I wouldn't touch it. However, if you think about it in terms of making a stew, you can add this to a lot of different things. And in this pack, it's everything from diced carrots, lentils. There is a couple of hundred small packages of stuff that's in one of these packs. And this is garbanzo beans and red beans. Now, by themselves, not wonderful. Make up a big pot of rice, toss some flavoring in, some bouillon cubes maybe, some different types of beans. You see where I'm going there, right? It's something that's gonna take your staple foods and make it last a little farther and also be a little bit more enjoyable, right? All right. That being said, some of the other things you might want to keep in mind are this is a huge bin of vegetable soup mix, right? Toss in some rice, a few beans here and there, maybe some ground chicken or cubed chicken, something like that. All of that's going to make for a better experience. Now, if you can go 3 months with what's in your pantry, and you can go 3 months with what's in your emergency food storage, you should be able to stockpile at least 6 months worth of dry food goods in a matter of time. It's really not as hard as you think. Just try a few different products, cook with it from time to time, and see what you come up with. These are great ideas. Something else that's going to be pretty favorable to me is chicken bouillon. Now, this is only like $5 right now. But you know how many pots of stew or different types of soups you can make with chicken bouillon. I mean, this is going to last a very long time. You get a couple of these and you add some of the rice and different things like that, you're set for a long period of time. All of this stuff is either long-term food storage, dry goods. Now, when I say dry goods, I mean rice and beans and cereals or oatmeal. All of those are dry goods. It means that if you pack them properly, and that's something we can get into later, if you pack them properly, they're going to be good for an extended period of time. And when I mean that, I mean like 10, 15, 20 years. Then you talk about freeze-dried food. If you buy the proper stuff, puts a little bit of time and effort and research into it, you're good for 10, 20, 25 years. Mountain House claims 25 years. I'm not intending to test that out, but if I had to, hey, that's what it is. That's survival. So another great product out there I want you to consider, and it's very high in protein, is powdered peanut butter, right? This is a dry good now. And powdered peanut butter, especially if you have kids, can go a long ways. You can brighten somebody's day with a piece of cracker and some peanut butter. So once again, I'm here to answer some questions, so please hit me down in the comment section. If you have any ideas or any topics that you want to talk about, by all means, hit me up. And once again, these are overviews. I could tell you that you should buy this product or that product, and I'm not really that type of guy. I want to give you an idea of where I'm coming from and how I've gotten there in the past. This will give you an idea to use your own ideas, come up with a great game plan. All right, for now, this is long-term food storage. If we want to talk about how to put this together or how to get the dry storage foods into the buckets at some point, hey, we can do that. Be safe for now. I'll talk to you soon.